Good Saturday evening, everyone, and what an evening it will be. The last and final round of the Clash of the Warriors Season 2. Over the last 6 weeks, we have had our excitement in the form of incredibly close battles and absolutely spectacular crashes. The drivers have had their highest of highs and their lowest of lows. In cars they had never driven before or mastered before. And to top it off, we will be ending it in the infamous GT4 McLaren 570S, famously demanding to drive and hard to manage tires due to its lock differential, and on a track that punishes mistakes more than others. The chances to get bogged in the sandbags of Laguna Seca couldn't possibly be higher in this case. The challenges for the 34 drivers partaking tonight will not be easy to overcome. A man particularly out on a blazing charge to glory this season is Shula, with no less than 3 wins and his lowest place being a 2nd place. Stands strongest to win this, but the man close on his heels, and the only one best him so far is Mo Plate. His lowest position being a 2nd place, and the entire season long the only one capable of beating Shula once. 3rd in the standing is Banksy, 3rd best overall and still within striking distance for winning the season. If both Plate and Shula no misfortune, then he might be able to snatch the win. Door in 4th position will no doubt be hunting Banksy tonight, however, hot on his heels to get a chance at the podium positions for the overall standings. A driver, however, tapping out today is Schaefer. He will not be on track defending his current 5th overall position. Our top 5 is so closely matched, in fact, that in the standings, they are less than a single 1st place points difference separating them. And no doubt the stress will be running high as the lights go out. But tonight, the entire grid has a lot to lose. The last points of the season are up for the grabs, and without any doubt on my mind, will it play an extra trick on the drivers to perform at their peak. Tonight, both myself, Red Sky, and my partners in crime, Drakje and Porsche, will be your hosts for this no doubt incredibly thrilling finale.
Hello people, it's me again.
So, what are you guys thinking? Who's gonna take it? I'm gonna bet my money on Shula. He's been a pretty steady horse all season long.
Well, yeah, I mean he's looking good. I mean, isn't he 1st in the championship? As we just see Dahlgren Smith. But I mean, right now Alexander's leading the practice, but it's just practice. So I mean, I'm gonna go with you. Shula's looking like he's gonna win this one, with Banksy probably in 2nd.
And I'm gonna yeet y'all out, and I'm gonna go with Mo Plate.
I don't necessarily disagree, but is there a little bit of bias there? You know,
there could be a reason, because his flag might be also red, white, blue, you know, but
just
a little biased, but it's gonna be an interesting race as always, I think, because it's RWB.
I mean, there's always a chance that Shula is going to get a little bit misfortunate on this track. I mean, it's Laguna Seca after all, and it is by no doubts, by no means an easy track to drive. Any mistake you essentially make, you end up in the sandbanks. It's quite reminiscent of Zandvoort in a weird way, but Zandvoort has a few grassy patches which minimize the loss of time that you have, but Laguna Seca, there's just no margin for error. It's not like you're going to find the barrier each and every time, but the time you lose by going into the dirt and getting dirty tires, it's mental.
It is going to be killing to spin around here. We have had some tracks that will kill you absolutely fully when you go off track, like Solder. That's a deadly one as well. So they managed to survive, I believe, all or almost all around there. So I believe they should be all right around here.
I mean, we got good drivers, and I'm pretty certain that most of the grid so far is more than capable of surviving this track, but it's still a good one to keep in the back of your head that it's very, very demanding to drive. I mean, we see Bennersley currently coming out of turn 3 going into turn 4, which is a particularly nasty little bit because you have to really push the car, but as you can see, you got that bit of sand on the exit there. And then corner 5 and 6 coming up is It's an interesting combination. It always feels a little bit weird to me in the GT4s. Like there's a lot of coasting and lifting that you have to do there to like maximize your speed and not all that much braking, which feels very counterintuitive on the track. You really got to push your nuts a little bit there. It kind of feels like Monaco sometimes. You know what I mean? It feels like you're always about to hit that wall, but in this case, it's just sand.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Laguna Seca is just a tight track in general. There is a lot of lifting and coasting here, especially when I've been playing iRacing in the MX-5s. It's been a lot weird, just lifting and coasting, getting the best runs and stuff up the hills and stuff. This track's got everything really.
Go ahead.
It's a fantastic track. Like a lot of people hate it, but I'm personally one of those people that just loves the hell out of this track. It's just it has something. It has a certain charm to it. It's the same reason why I like Zolder. It has a charm to it, and it's different from all the rest. You're never gonna find another track like Laguna. You're never gonna find another track like Zolder. Pretty difficult to overtake as well.
I mean, yeah, Laguna Seca is a really hard circuit to overtake on because the corners are always opposite to each other. So you'll have a left, right, and plus, I just love Zolder. It's like my personal fan favorite. So, yeah, I see Laguna Seca as my favorite as well, even though I don't race there often. But yeah, I love these tracks.
We have said at Zolder actually that it was hard to overtake as well. And I don't think I ever seen them race that close to each other ever until I saw Zolder, and there was a lot of overtaking around there still. So it's a good racing club, I think. The races are. If you look at Shula, what he has done this season, it's crazy.
I mean, Shula's track record overall is just insane. Like the man basically nearly wins everything he joins. He's probably the most skilled driver on the grid tonight, and that's saying something because just in the top 10 alone on drivers that we have right now on the grid, there is a lot of talent there, but Shula kind of stands out like towering out over everything. But the same thing that you say about Zolder, like Zolder is a very difficult track to overtake, and then you see the entire club basically race so close to one another that you become uncomfortable about it. And Laguna Seca is gonna put that back again because Laguna and Zolder share a very common trait, which is you need to be uncomfortably close to your opponent to be able to make a move in any of the corners, because overall it's not that high speed of a track. A lot of the corners are a lot slower than they actually look, which is why you get a lot of coasting rather than braking, because you don't want to lose that momentum. So we're going to get the exact same experience here, especially because it's nearly as tight as Zolder actually. It's just a little bit wider here and there, but overall, quite tight.
Well, yeah, it is really tight. But yeah, I'll let Draki carry on.
Talking about the drivers around here, I have heard that my colleague FTC actually has the grid for us today.
Well, yeah, definitely. So I'll take you guys through the grid. So first of all, we have our championship leader, Shula, followed by Alexandra in P2, followed by Mr. Banksy in P4, Phil Varley, sorry, and Tyrion P5. P6, we have Rick Binnersley and Emma Plate in P7. Normally, we expect him to be more near the front of the grid, but somehow he's qualified P7 for this. P8, we have Dirk Gretschel, followed by Burek and RWB Audi. And in P11, we have Dahlgren, followed by Nigel Wood, Peter Varga, and Xavier Eugenie. In P15, rounding off your top 15, we have Damien Wilk. And then in P16, we have Madal, followed by Harry Hoddy, and Shepard, and Sky. Rounding off your top 20 is Matt Hodgson, followed by Chablom, Nate Newcomer, who kindly set up our stream tonight, and Lee Duckworth. Can we get the rest of the grid, or is that it for tonight?
As far as I can currently see, that is the grids. 23 drivers tonight.
Well, that's it, folks. We got 23 tonight, and hopefully a good race.
Yeah, it's a little bit less than we're used to. Last week had about 30 drivers, I think. we actually see someone, I believe that's been asleep, trying to warm up his tires while still being that close to Tyron on the left. This is gonna be one interesting start around here.
Yeah.
These guys all want that at least top 3. Of course, they all want P1.
Very much be very, very vigilant and then staring at the Andretti hairpin. So essentially turn 2 because the king counts as turn 1. Definitely look at that because there's going to be a lot of moves that are going to be trying to be made there. As we are going to be going green, 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 and lights out immediately off. We already see Shula just comfortably holding the center line. He's going to hold the inside line. Straight behind him, Banks is making a move for P2. He managed to snatch it away from Alexander as we are seeing Varley and Tyrion side by side through the corners. So far, everyone gets away scot-clean. No accidents. Varley close in front of Tyrion here.
This is actually very cool. I'm all going clean through turn 1, 2, and 3. I don't think I've seen it that clean in a while, actually.
No, the entire field is getting away scot-free. No problems. Everyone nicely lined up. I don't even think there was a single piece of contact throughout the entire piece there.
I don't believe it was. I'm looking at the pit walls, saying if there was any hit, but for now, no. And I think that just shows the respect these guys have for each other, going side by side through turn 1 and 2, and actually 3 also, and still managing to get places, overtake each other, defend from each other, but stay clean. Don't share any paint, don't share a little bit of a front wing or a wheel.
Well, yeah, the drivers here, RWB, all respect each other. Toast, a really close-knit community, not toast.
Oh, we got a little bit of contact there back in the rear. I don't necessarily know what exactly happened there, but it seemed like Duckworth and Matt Shablome managed to get together there.
Well, yeah, very unfortunate for these two. But hopefully these guys can hopefully move over the pack.
Oh no, I am wrong. It was Harry Hottie and Matt Shablome, and it seems like Harry is going to have to be pulling into the pits to fix some damage. That must have been a lot harder than it looked.
Yeah, it must have been severe damage, I guess. But we'll right now run Dahlgren following Burek into the uphill section. Hopefully he can catch him up soon and follow up for a good fight.
Was that Audi there that lost control over his car?
I don't know. These two.
No, that was Varga. He did a really nice job catching it there, but his tires aren't going to be happy about that at all.
And I don't think he himself will be happy about that little, yeah, what can we call it? Shaking his wing around there. It was a nice save,
shaking his ass.
I'm trying to keep it clean. No, just joking. Indeed, it was shaking his ass a little bit. I think that's the Varga move. I've seen him do it earlier around Silverstone last week, and I believe 2 races before that. And I just seen Harry Hottie has got a 30-second stop and go penalty. I think he just disabled his pit limiter a little bit too early.
Yeah, now it's going to get hairy because he's injecting himself in towards the front runners. Much lower speed, and you can already see Alexander's having to maneuver himself around there with Varley as well. He's doing the nice thing, which is going off into the dirt, but that's not good for him. It's cold tires, damage. He came out, stop and go. He's just letting him go. It's respectful, but it can sometimes get a little bit awkward when you come into like the Foster corners and you just have to inject yourself. He's just gonna have to go for it and not let everyone pause, because that's gonna cause accidents on itself. As the stream might have seen already, very characteristic thing to Laguna Seca is that basically everyone has now settled into their rhythm. They're all running in lines because moves are really difficult to make. But what you're currently still not seeing is the fact that literally everyone is already going to be struggling with their tires a little bit. And what I mean with that is they are having to spare them to the most degree. If you've never driven this little GT4 car, it is rapid the first 20 minutes, and then you basically have lost all tire life available to you.
It's kind of like Hamilton, how he treats his tires in his F1 car. He first goes full send and then goes, "Mwah, my tires are screwed up."
Yeah, bottom of my tires are gone. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
like Red Sky said at the start of this stream, yeah, it is a fixed differential, this car, so literally 15-20 minutes and then these tires are in the bin. I feel like counting tires right now.
They are always rapid around here, I believe, but it's gonna be very interesting. Also interesting to see what the laps times actually will be. For now they're running 1:30, so that means they will be doing quite some laps around here.
Yeah, I mean, is that some people in the pits, by the way? I think I've just seen some people in the pits.
Yeah, Harry Hottie, I think, just riding away his stop and go penalty as soon as possible.
Yeah,
that looked like it. It's currently still in the pits.
Taking a very long time. It isn't like the splash and dash we're used to see from the league. Because that's also going to be an interesting one. I'm curious to see what you guys think, but pitch strategies. I've seen them do splash and dashes without tires, but I don't think that's possible around here.
I think if there's going to be anything that's going to be happening, it's going to have to do... Oh, we see Matt Shablom letting Nate Newcomer, I think that is right there. Yeah, that's Newcomer. Let Newcomer pass. It's going to be an interesting thing all around, honestly. I think there's going to be quite a few that are going to say, okay, we're gonna toss on those tires, because you can absolutely not underestimate this car. You just cannot. The tire wear on this car is... I've driven it in an endurance race once. I think it was the worst decision I've ever made in my life. Yeah, you need continuous new tires, and there's no tire life left in it after like a very short amount of driving.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think some people might say, okay, if we take it easy, we can maybe take it longer and not do as many pit stops. Because this track's all about track position, because you can't do many overtakes around here, being comfortable. But, I mean, one person we should have a look out for throughout the whole race, this race, is Nate Newcomer, our stream guy. But, yeah, you start the back of the grid, and he's probably going to make you through. But, yeah, let's keep an eye out for him.
Yeah, that's indeed going to be an interesting one. Just like last week, some guys at the back that we don't expect at the back. Of course, I'm missing a lot of guys. I'm missing our Mr. Debug, at least. We saw a lot from him last week. Let's see what we all got. We're missing a real lot. Pinpoints, as far as I can see, Debug as well. Fleck.
Yeah, I think Penners might have some internet thing that came on Friday. He said something about that, but yeah, I think yeah, we are missing quite a few. I mean, last weekend was quite a decent race in the McLaren around Silverstone. I personally enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really fun to see and commentate on as well, because it's still Silverstone. It's, you know, Maggot to Maggot.
Meanwhile, however, we are seeing Plate trying to line up a move on Binnersley. He's really trying to find the line that he can take to like get past him. The difference right now is just 0.4. And you can see that Plate is really struggling with it, because Plate has a little bit more speed out of every single corner. Binnersley is just holding his lines very well, so he can't push his nose in between. So every single time that Plate is going to try and find that opening, he is going to notice the fact that Binnersley blocks it just a bit too much, which makes him lose a little bit of pace. And for Plate, this is absolute disaster. He has first place within reach, but he's forced to sit behind Binnersley here, stop his charge towards the front of the grid, and basically have to watch Shula run away. Which, by the way, Shula currently has a very, very sizable gap. He already has a 3-second lead on seconds. Banksy is having absolutely no answers for the man.
I mean, yeah, this is already quite a big lead, especially in endurance events. This is already sizable. With how many laps have we done now? Just under 10 minutes done.
We have done 6 laps at the front of the grid currently. So
Yeah.
6 laps or a 4.5 second lead currently.
I mean, that's if it was a 3-second gap, it would be 5 temps per lap. Let me do the maths real quickly. I'll get back to you guys on that one.
Well, after he's gonna do some quick math.
We'll be checking Audi out real quick, who is having to defend from wood, but it's being very... Oh, Audi just clipping a little bit of that dirt. That's not going to be any good for his tires during the next few corners.
Yeah, speaking about the dirt here, it's like they built a track in the middle of Dubai or something, in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
I'm really questioning why they opt out for dirt/sand around here, and not just grass.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's Laguna Seca. Whereabouts is this track in? But I've done the maths quickly, and I've if my calculations are correct, it's about 8 temps per lap. So, yeah, not a good one for the for Banksy.
No, absolutely not, and especially not a good one for Plate, who's trying to desperately get towards the front. He's still stuck behind Binnersley, by the way. He's really trying to find that opening. He's really close. He might actually be able to do it here if he manages to get a good run into the Andretti hairpin. But you can already tell Binnersley yet again putting his car on the right line. Look, he's going to take the inside line. He's going to hold it a little bit. Plate is having a think about it, but he knows he can't do it. He just has to hold it there.
Yeah.
You have to sit there. Binnersley having a compromised exit, and there he goes. Plate is finally by. And not only that, Gretschel is going to run away with another position as well, as Binnersley can't defend against that.
Oh, Binnersley actually sticking down the inside.
Binnersley is not done with this yet. He wants that position back immediately straight after. He might be able to do it here. He has the better pace here. Gretschel isn't defending it. No, but Binnersley thinks better of it. He knows he can't dive into that corner. But he's still close enough.
Might do an outside.
Close here. This is not a corner to dive down the inside. Binnersley knows it. And it's looking like he's losing just a little bit too much of it. He can't be thinking of it, can he? He's not going to try through the corkscrew. There is absolutely no way he's going to make that in a GT4. No, and he hits the bump just a little bit too wrong. He hit the green runoff, and he doesn't manage to make it stick. He's going to have to get into position, keep his head down, and try again later.
That is very interesting. Of course, I do see Binnersley sticking around the outside, but yeah. Looking at Banksy right now, I believe with Alexander right behind him. If I'm...
No, this is Shula. Shula is being uncomfortably... Oh. Actually, no, I'm wrong. I am wrong. I was going to say, you were right. It is...
Yeah.
The timing sheet went a little bit weird till all of a sudden when I saw Shula suddenly only having 1 second of a thing. No, this is Banksy with Alexander close behind.
Well, one thing, may I ask, is Shula not preserving his time? And maybe Banksy and Alexander are, and Shula's just going for it, so maybe he can make enough gap. So when it comes to the pit stops, he's already ahead on track position. I don't know. You guys tell me.
It's gonna be an interesting one. We know Banksy is from the weird strategies. I think it was Solar. He literally drove the whole race with, I believe, almost a full tank. Excuse me. And he did a quick splash in the last 20 minutes, I believe. So we know Banksy is from, in my eyes, the weird tactics, but it's gonna be interesting to see if he's gonna risk it all to maybe get some track positions, or is he gonna say, nah, I'm gonna play it safe and do normal pit stops.
Looking real quickly at the way that Shula is driving, I don't actually think he's pushing the tires.
It doesn't look like it, right?
If he was pushing the tires, he'd be pushing a lot harder than he is. I think he naturally just has more pace and a better feeling and understanding of this car than anyone else on the field does. Like, if you look at his best time, it is 1:30.9, while if you compare that towards Banksy, It's a 131.1. The only one that seems anywhere near close to actually be able to do something about this is Alexander with a best time of 130.085. But Shula isn't pushing all that much because his last lap was 131.2. To put that in perspective, Godzilla has a 131.1. So Shula is, I think, actually already preserving his tires. He just has a better consistency and pace on this car, and he's just gaining the benefit out of it. And if you then look at what is happening with Godzilla currently, he's having to defend for his life. So if I were to say something, it's actually Banksy that is losing all of the life in his tires here.
Yeah, well, I mean, is Shula really the Checo Perez of the McLaren right now? I mean, obviously, as we mentioned before, that's the lock differential of the McLaren is going to make it.
Oh,
really
what
hard.
car is that went off there? The number 23. That's Hottie again.
Yeah, I mean, Hardy's been really struggling in this race, especially with that early incident. Hopefully, he can come back and unlap himself, I think, if that's correct. But yeah, we want all these drivers to be in a close battle and at least helping themselves in the championship, as we see Shula probably going to win this championship right now.
I mean, anything can happen. It's still an hour and 30 minutes. Like a single mistake, a back marker that makes a wrong move. It happens quickly, and there's not very much you can do about it when it does.
Yeah, I mean, this is Laguna Seca, so we got to buckle in and prepare for everything, boys and girls.
Especially don't forget the girls. Then you're gonna get killed by someone. No, just joking. But it's going to be interesting to also see what the midfield is going to do. We have here RWB outing being, yeah,
you can say what you want. He's being hunted. Eugene is coming for him. Eugenie really wants that position here.
We know Xavier, Eugenie, and Audi had the fair share of fights with each other. They don't leave gaps.
Oh, no,
really big gaps. Here it goes.
He's trying on the inside on a corner that does not allow it at all. Yeah. He is forcing Audi straight onto the dirt, exactly where he doesn't want to be. And Wilk sees the opportunity, sticks his nose next to Audi as well, and he's going to try as well into another corner, but he has to back out, and he loses a lot of pace, and Wilk immediately gets a little bit of contact from Adel, who doesn't expect that much amount of pace drop. Just a tiny little bit, and now they're gonna go side by side in a corkscrew. Just a little bit more door rubbing there. Wilk having to concede that went from a great move to the absolute worst for Wilk, losing a position over a possible position gain. He must be really hitting himself there.
Well, yeah, boys. As we're seeing, just pushing him on the curb as we see before in the corkscrew. I mean, how are you boys finding the race so far? I think Shula's going to win this one, but not sadly really. He's looking to get his title here at RWB. But what are you guys' thoughts on the race so far?
It's
I'd say it's a pretty decent one, but you have to understand that it's decent in the way that we're still very early on in a very long race. An hour and 50 on Laguna Seca is definitely nothing to like scoff at, especially with the cars that they're driving. But it's a pretty decent race because there's a lot of dynamics, there's a lot of things happening, but it's exactly what you're expecting from a Laguna Seca, you know? Not a lot of close driving, I'll put it that way, but not a lot of close battles, just a lot of slotting in, biding your time, putting your pressure, waiting for the dude in front to make a mistake. And that way. But I mean, we've seen some great moves already just earlier, you know, Eugenie on Audi, like sticking his nose there, really doing the dirty on Audi and pushing him off the track almost by doing so, because it's just not a corner where you can go side by side. So one car is going to lose it out. Which, I mean, I suppose the way you look at it, that's great racing, you know? Meanwhile, though, Phil Varley is having Tyrion on his ass, and Tyrion is pretty much within striking distance for the Andretti hairpin.
Well, yeah. He is right on his ass as we see a yellow fluoro car approaching on the Papayaffa orange McLaren. But is it possible that we can get a Draki with Dana moment?
Let's see. I'm just gonna pick the top 4 for now. See, it's gonna be interesting because the top 4 is already separated by 10 seconds total. That's hurtful to say the least, I think. With Banksy and Shula already having a gap of 3.6 seconds, and that's gonna be really hurtful for them.
Well, yeah.
Especially because Shula is into the 133s, with Banksy into the 136.
I mean,
that's
here,
3/10 a second.
Yep. Yeah, round here it's all about strategy, to be honest, because overtaking is an option, but it's not likely. So just gotta leave it down to strategy and wait for the pit stops. How many pit stops do you reckon there's gonna be?
Single.
I agree.
These guys can pull it off. Their pace. The thing is, it isn't that that are all different cars. So if all their tires are going to be screwed up after about 20 to 30 minutes, that means for all the guys the tires are going to be screwed up. So all their pace will drop. So some guys will still be faster because they will be able to manage the worse tires than other guys. But it's still going to be an factor of all the cars are the same. Some are pushing it harder than others, but it's not gonna be that much of a difference, I think.
I mean, looking at it currently, I mean, if you look especially towards the midfield, because the midfield is currently the most interesting part. Like the front of the field, we pretty much see what we're going to be seeing, and that's Banksy versus Alexander as far as we can tell. Varley is too far off to make any bet at that for at least another half an hour easy at that pace. And Shula is basically running away, and because Banksy can't focus on trying to catch Shula, there's not much that's going to be happening there. So looking at the midfield, I think it's going to be less strategy and more racing. But at the front is going to be strategy. It's all going to be strategy. And like you say, like the people in RWB, the club itself, these drivers can pull off a single stopper with these cars. It's going to be hard. It's going to be rough on the tires. You'll see that after like maybe in another 10 minutes, there's going to be a lot more mistakes, a little bit of sliding, a lot of correcting. You can already see that, by the way, here with Mad Al. If you look at his steering wheel, the amount of correcting he's having to do out of the corners is rather high, and that's a decent show of how much tire wear he's having. See, just a little bit of shakiness through the corner, just wrecking it a tiny little bit, making certain he keeps control of the car, which is a good thing, but he's having to do a little bit more than what you would want. But that's just the characteristic of this car. Wilk nearly killing Mad Al, though. Straight for the dive bomb, straight behind. He completely outbraked himself right here.
Would be able to get a replay on that one, maybe.
Yeah, maybe 30 seconds.
Looking at the red sky. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. We can absolutely get one.
We learned to be quicker with that one, actually, with replays.
There we go.
That's Audi in front, right? And
Mad Al in front.
Mad Al, I'm sorry, but that's absolutely... I don't think that one was a try to dive bomb, but he just missed his breaking point. It looked
absolutely.
more like that one.
Yeah, I mean, how much? Who's behind Damien Wilk? Is Sky?
It's Sky, but it's a big gap, so it isn't like he's under pressure from him or something.
Yeah, do you think? How much time do you reckon that's made? Probably a good 2-3 seconds.
The loss of the corner there, 2 seconds.
Yeah, I'm guessing around that. But yeah, we're just gonna have a look at Nate Newcomer. He's back into 19th. I mean, into 19th. Not that many positions gained, but still a decent amount so far. As hopefully we see him inside the top 10 if that's a possibility. I mean, it's a good 10 seconds from 19th to 10th, I guess. Probably a lot more.
Oh, he has a little bit of damage there. I think he had a little bit of contact. That's going to play parts on him. It's just well on the front, so that really impacts these GT4 cars because it just causes a little bit more drag. It doesn't look like it's anything too major, but you can see a little bit of scarring there on the left side of the bumper. He definitely had a little bit of contact.
Well, yeah, it's Nate. He can handle anything, in my opinion. But yeah, as we see Nate with... How much? Does anybody know how many seconds of damage he has? Or is it only available to the drivers?
Only available to the drivers, sadly enough. I'm gonna make a guess from looking at what it is. It's probably gonna be anywhere in the, I'd say 5 to 6 seconds range, and it'll probably be taking him a decent 100 out of his time each lap. He's definitely
Yeah.
feeling that. It's probably very drivable, but he's definitely feeling that with a little bit of drag here and there.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, if he corrects it during the pit stop, then it should be all right when he comes in for a stop. I mean, it's not too bad. It's not like we're at races older where my steering wheel is like 90 degrees to the right and still finish the race.
Either Varga here though currently a little bit in a tough spot. Dahlgren straight behind him within striking distance, and him himself straight within striking distance for Burek. He has an opportunity here if he manages to get really close to turn 11, which it looks like he's going to be doing. Yeah, he gets a better exit out of turn 11 as well. So now he has an opportunity for the Andretti hairpin again. Now the Andretti hairpin, of course, being a double apex corner, which feels really weird, but if you get it just right, you manage to stick your nose into the second part of that apex and then have a really good opportunity here. But it doesn't look like he's going to be able to pull that off just yet. Just a little bit off.
It's and overall until now it's been an interesting race. It's quiet on track actually with how little drivers we have today, and I'm surprised by it actually.
What, that there isn't as many drivers?
Yeah, normally last week we had way more drivers.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because, well, point one, this is a really shitty car. I'm not going to lie. Like, I love the McLaren, right? No hate towards the McLaren. Like, the GT4 McLaren is probably one of my favorite cars to drive, but it's a shitty car. It is a really shitty car. It's very fun to drive, but don't drive it longer than, 20 minutes. And second, Laguna Seca is a really difficult track to do this on. And look at the track temperatures, 28 degrees Celsius ambient and 37 degrees Celsius track temperatures. Those tires are boiling hot. I wouldn't be surprised to say that the rubber is quite literally bubbling right now, especially combined with that lock differential. It is not fun to drive. I'm not surprised that there isn't as many drivers. If I understood correctly, there was a single round that you could drop out from the Clash of the Warriors. And I'm thinking a lot of people saved it for this combination because this one is hell to drive.
Well, yeah, I mean, Laguna Seca is, don't get me wrong, Laguna Seca is a good track, but this combo, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people managed to escape away from last week's race, but yeah, I don't know.
Might I also add, I'm just looking at the times that it didn't qualifying, because qualifying is midweek. It's from, I believe, Monday till Friday always, for this league at least. And Shula set 15 laps at this time, with his fastest being a 129.7. And Alexander said 5 laps with his fastest being 129.9.
I'm going to have to interrupt you real quick as Nigel Wood is about to make a move on Eugenie, and he is really close going in towards the corkscrew. There is a lot of opportunity here as they're going to go into this. If Nigel Wood nails this corner right here, the corkscrew in itself, he is going to have ample opportunity on the pit straight. It seems like Eugenie overshot his braking zone just a little bit, taking a little bit too much speed in there, taking the corner a little bit sharp, and Nigel Wood taking a longer, going to carry more speed out of that corner, going into turn 10. Wood has every single opportunity, breaks a little early, gets scared from Eugenie's braking there. He is going to try it into the fucking final corner, turn 11. Let's see, what can he do? No, he's going to lose out on pace there. Really good attempt, got really close. Eugenie got flustered. You could see that, but it just wasn't enough. Back to that 0.5 second gap that was there the entire time. True. Question is going to be, is Wood going to really brake late here, try to make it there? No, he isn't, but Eugenie messes up. The pressure hits him. They're nearly going to collide. A little bit of door rubbing nearly there. However, Eugenie manages to stick, forces Wood out of that position. Really, really great driving there. Wood knowing that he has to back out because otherwise they're going to have a little bit of contact there. They're racing hard. Wood now wants it though. Nigel is not happy with that situation. He says, Eugenie, you did me dirty. I won't buy again. Is he going to find it? Gets really close on that bumper. He might be able to get it going into its turn 6. A little bit of a straight here. He might be able to make that move. He might just be able to make that move. However, it is not an easy place to do that at.
Yeah, that's gonna be a very interesting one, that fight. We'll keep an eye on that one, I think.
Nearly had it. He nearly had that. He's going to be hitting himself on the head for that. Eugenie defended there with everything that he had, though. He said, I am willing to take a little bit of damage for that. And you saw that. That was very akin to touring car driving, that piece there. The only difference would have been if they actually would rub doors. Genie is holding off the pace just a little bit enough. It doesn't seem like Wood is going to have the opportunity to do that again. Of course, if Eugenie still is feeling that pressure, he might make the exact same mistake there. And if you see that there, Nigel Wood is carrying a little bit more pace, trying to do that, gets really close on that bumper. But this time around, Eugenie was ready for it, and he didn't make the same mistake, so he's going to be able to hold this off just a little while longer. Meanwhile, at the front, Banksy is having the same exact problem with Alexander going into those same corners. But Banksy is not an easy man to overtake.
Of course not, it's Banksy. And I don't mean that bad in any way, but it's still Banksy, and he is a machine out there. In every race, he's giving it it's immal. It's just crazy how he can fight.
It really is. It really, really is. Banksy is his willpower in practice and training is ridiculous. However, he does have an Achilles heel. Do you know what that is?
Nope.
He's gonna hate me for saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. His Achilles heel is pit stops. It's the one thing and it's not like he positions or breaks himself wrong. It's just he selects the wrong things quite often. And he always beats himself up over it. It's his Achilles heel. If there's one thing Banksy can still improve, it's not his driving. It's not his willpower. It's not his knowledge of cars. It's his pit stops. That heat of the moment decision.
Red Sky, have you notified the army of your country, the SWAT team, every single policeman in your neighborhood to protect you from Banksy? Because you absolutely just fired a mortar at that guy.
Yeah, I'll be fine. Banksy's a cool dude. Oh, Eugenie's still having to defend, though. We're gonna have to get back towards this battle. Just looking at this already, you can just immediately tell that Wood wants that position still. Really on that ass there of Eugenie, not giving him a single second to breathe. And you can tell, this is where it's interesting to watch drivers having to defend from the perspective of the attacker. What happens when you're having to defend like this on a track like this, where you're not getting any breathing room, is you're going to start making things that I call micro mistakes. It's putting the wheels just a little bit off the grip line, taking a corner a little bit too shallow. And the reason why this is happening is because you're continuously having one eye on the relative standings and another eye on your rear view mirror. And that means you're not looking at your apex line. And you can tell, just look at the way that Eugenie is currently positioning his car, braking a little bit too early, a little bit too late, not entirely hitting that corner. And if you look at how Wood's driving, he is really putting his car on the best line, because all he has to do is keep his eye on that rear bumper and try not to replicate that line. Here we're going to go back into the Andretti hairpin. Brake late. Eugenie is taking a very shallow. Wood is taking a long line, but that's going to give him a lot more speed out of this corner, but it's not going to be enough. There's not enough straight right here to actually do anything with that. Eugenie just lucked out. He's going to have a lot more braiding room right here. He's going to get another lap where he can just quietly gather his mind again. Bit more towards the front, though, we have Burek, who's having to defend from Varga. However, it doesn't seem like Varga's still within striking distance here. It's really difficult to keep that gap close throughout these next few corners. Like, the corkscrew itself is really difficult. Then you have turn 9, which is difficult to stay close by. Oh, Varga nearly hitting him, out-braking himself, too eager to try to get by. And now Varga's in trouble. Now Dahlgren is on his ass. He definitely wants by here, but I think Dahlgren is thinking the better of it. He saw that little mistake. He's thinking Varga isn't entirely focused. He's beating himself up over that. I need to give him a little bit of space. This is dangerous to try and move on. Just exactly as it is. He leaves him that space, but Dahlgren now trying to go a little bit too deep, too close to that bumper. Now has to brake a little bit too much. And look at that. Now you have that space again. Back into that uncomfortable, basically Mexican standoff between Burek, Varga, and Dahlgren. They've been like this for what now? 20 minutes?
Yeah, something about that. 20 minutes should be alright. But these are Dahlgren, Varga, and Bjork we're talking about. These guys are absolutely bloody fast. And they have very much respect for each other, which is, I believe, the most important things for these guys.
Oh, Alexander trying it in towards the corner here. Still close. Not close enough at all. Alexander had an opportunity there, and he had the ability to do a lot of damage, but he thought better off of it. That got close, and Banksy got incredibly lucky with that.
It still surprises me how low Ammo Plate is still. He's still only in P6, while that guy should be fighting for the P1 position, but...
I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. That car is incredibly difficult to drive on this track.
And I bet you he absolutely hates it.
Oh, he most definitely does. There's no way around that. If you're driving on a track like this and you're having to battle as hard as they have to, and you're out of position, you're not feeling the way that you should be feeling in the car. It's the most horrible feeling. You know you can do better, and then you don't have the opportunity to do so, and it just eats you up from the inside with each lap that you're driving. Varga, meanwhile, found his way past Burek, and Burek now under attack from Dahlgren. We missed this little bit of a fight. However, Burek does not seem ready to concede that position just yet. He's now going to try to get past Varga, but now he's having an issue with Dahlgren. What is it with these people in turn 6? Every single time, it's back towards the corkscrew straight that you're going to be having these problems. They're going to try again. Dahlgren is seeing the better line on the right side. He's not going to try to dive the inside. He's going to take a little bigger of a corner, get a little bit more speed out of these corners. Just a little bit more is all Dahlgren needs now to launch an attack on Burek, especially if Burek misjudges the corner and gets a little too close to Varga, having to brake a little bit more. Dahlgren knows what he's waiting for. And I will bet you he's going to find the opportunity here to get past Burek as well. Burek is not looking in his rear view mirror enough. He's too hyper focused on that rear view mirror of the blue McLaren. Question is though, am I right?
I think you are right. It's yeah, being focused.
Yeah,
braking from
there
Dahlgren.
you go. He's going to find that opportunity now. Really close to Dahlgren.
yeah,
Sorry, really close to Burek.
Yeah, really backing it up into Burek. Burek, sorry. But sorry folks, it's been a bit quiet. I've been setting up pit wall. I've got my nice track map, got lap times and all that.
And now you know I am the data man, because it's absolutely fabulous.
I know. I have to admit, it is absolutely amazing. I wish I discovered this.
Here we
more
go.
often. It's amazing.
Dahlgren really close, back in towards that corkscrew straight. Here is where we're going to see whether or not the move is going to be made. The corkscrew is the best possible place to line yourself up for an overtake, because the corners afterwards allow for it. He got a little bit more speed out there. He's getting the better line. Burek is taking them really shallow. He's looking for that attack line on Varga. Varga taking the defensive line, slowing Burek down. Dahlgren setting himself up to get really close in turn 11 and then try to make the move into the Andretti hairpin. Look, 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 look. Really close. Brakes late. Gets close to that bumper. However, this time around, Varga did the defense, so that didn't work out in the way Dahlgren wanted it to work out. You could tell. However, that doesn't necessarily mean a lot. You can see that Barek is really close to Varga right now, maybe ready to make a move, stick his nose up the inside, make it difficult. There it is, really, really difficult. Dahlgren, however, a little bit of a trouble with the ABS. You can see it there. Tires locked up a little bit. No, they're going to concede, and I think all three of them know better than to attack right now. They can tell. They're going to settle back into that rhythm, shuffle the deck a little bit, but they're going to be each other's friends for probably the rest of the race. You can tell. The road is never lonely with a buddy. Meanwhile, however, Philip Varley currently having to defend against Tyrion, which he's having to been doing for pretty much the entire race. Tyrion's been uncomfortably on the bumper of Philip Varley. There's basically no change in the situation, but you can tell just by the data and the data alone that Tyrion is getting really antsy to get by before he does his pit stop. The question is Varley going to comply with that? Is that something Varley is comfortable letting happen? And I think the answer, probably no.
Well, yeah, like you
that's
said,
going to be a definite no.
Oh, there it is, though. Tyrion got the better line through that corner. The double apex was his. I think Philip was looking a little bit too much into his rear view mirror. There it is again. Tyrion getting the better line, getting really, really close within breathing distance. Philip feeling that wet breath from Tyrion that wants it so bad. He's heaving over it. He can smell that fourth position in this case. Tyrion putting himself ready, trying for it. Varley messing up the corner just a tiny little bit. Look at that speed difference. Tyrion now putting his nose in between there. Is he going to dare to do it? No, Tyrion is going to back out. He doesn't see the opportunity there, and there goes that gap just by backing out of the corner again. Nothing he can do anymore now. That was an opportunity, and Tyrion thought, nah, I'm going to play it safe. However, Varley again missing the apex of the corkscrew, and then somehow Tyrion doing the exact same. Not that close, not that opportune. He's having to lift a little bit so he doesn't hit the rear of Varley. He might be trying it into turn 11 here. Although that gap isn't nearly close enough for a dive on the inside, is it? No, there you go. That is the exact mistake I was thinking was going to happen. Got just a little uncomfortably close and having to concede all of the space gains. That is a shame. That is a real shame. That said, Hutchin currently having to protect against Shepard. Shepard having a little bit of a race here where he's been struggling a tiny bit as far as I can tell. Oh, it's just as I say that. Bad luck from the commentators. I literally just jinxed him. I was going to say is going to try to be on the up and up, trying to work himself back into the case. And then just as I say, just a little bit more bad luck. Yeah, Hutchin, of course, going to be really relieved.
Yeah, commentators curse. It's... don't know why, but it happens everywhere, folks. But yeah, hopefully we can see some more battles from these two.
We'll definitely see some more battles from these two. They are never finished battling with each other.
As we just see Wilk overtake Shablome, I think, as it just says for me.
Yeah, that was a back marker. Shablome is a back marker.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Here we're going. Philip Varley still having to defend, and Tyrion still wanting that position. Tyrion is really close just once more back into the exact same corner situation. Again, Tyrion breaking late, this time getting it a little bit better. Varley taking the corner just a little bit too wide. Here's that opportunity that he's been wanting the entire time. Tyrion wants this. He needs to have this right now. He knows that he's not going to get another chance, and Varley knows he needs to hold that inside line. And now the question is, how is Tyrion going to approach the corner? He's going for the apex line. He still holds that apex line, and you can tell Varley bled a lot of pace through there. Now, yet again, another 0.1 of a second shaved off in this entire battle. And now the question is going to be, is Varley going to be able to basically broaden the gap again? Or is it just going to be Tyrion so uncomfortably close that Varley has to make mistake after mistake and defensive move after defensive move? However, What you are not seeing in this case is there's someone profiting off of this. Someone that's been wanting to get up and by for a long while. The number 71 plates. He is getting closer and closer with this battle. With each move, it's getting better. Varley taking a really risky line there. The inside line is not safe to go there. And now Tyrion has the more space out of that. He's going to try it into the corkscrew. Is this going to work? He gets by. Is he going to hold it? Varley ready for a counterattack. However, look at that. Tyrion taking a really aggressive line shoot there. That was really dangerous for suspension, but he managed to make it stick. But I'm wondering, was that a corner cut? It might have been, actually. That might have been a tiny corner cut. He might have actually been warned for that.
Yeah, well, maybe. But as we're seeing, the track temperature is 37 degrees. These tires are going to be starting to degrade a lot more. Jeez. When do you think these guys are going to come in?
Last possible seconds. And there's a specific reason I say this. It's not that they wouldn't want to go in earlier, but they don't have the luxury to do so. Laguna Seca is a really tiny track. And what I mean with that is, if you go into that pit, it's going to take a while before you come back out, and you're most definitely going to be a back marker. There is no doubt about it. So if you pit too early, you're going to lose too much space. So sure, your tires are scrubbing. They're literal hell. They're completely fucked. There is absolutely no reason for anyone to go into the pits early, because you'll be more fucked by going into the pits early. Oh, what am I seeing there? The number 23, Shablum. He is on this. Oh, Shablum tapped out, looks like. He's in the pits. Wonder what happened there.
Not quite sure, but geez, Pitbull's really cool with all this. I've got all my data, split times, everything here, as leaders going to lap 30. But yeah, it's really cool. RWB has all this. But yeah, last lap time, if this is the thing, Shula did a 131.89, whereas Kai Banksy did a 132.7, so a bit of a second difference. So we can definitely say Shula's getting the upper hand on these tires.
Yeah, he's doing massive amounts of lap times. However, something that I've been noticing right now is if you compare their times towards their best, and especially what we were driving earlier, Shula in itself has gone about 700 of a second slower, while Banksy has already lost about a full second worth of pace. Like, those tires are already dead. They're just gone. It's donezo. So looking at that data, the fact that they're losing about a second, I'm going to make my prediction. You're going to see the first pits within 10 minutes from now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm definitely expecting that within the next 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Yeah, easily, as we've got 57 minutes left. Well, 58 technically, just under 58. But lads, it's come up to halfway through the race, and our leaders are starting to feel the needs of changing tires in the next, I don't know, 20 minutes, as we said.
It's going to be interesting.
Do you reckon Shula might get up in an instant?
I mean, looking at Shula currently, he has about an 8-second gap. The only way that he can truly lose this still with the 8-second gap, especially seeing as Banksy and Alexander are kind of, there's a saying in Dutch, if two dogs fight for a bone, the third one walks away with him, and that's exactly what's happening here. Banksy and Alexander are fighting so hard currently over second position that Shula is just not having to worry about anything, essentially driving with your eyes closed and going for the win. So the only way that Shula can truly mess this up, and I mean, never say never, is if he were to miss the pit limiter. That's legitimately the only way.
Yeah, but he might only just get a drive-through for that, so I don't know. Things can always happen around Laguna Seca, and yeah, we're just going to see everybody. But I thought Nate Newcomer was going to do a bit of moves around here today, but right now he's stuck in 21st, affected by that damage, clearly. So as we see, who's that's just come into the pits? Is that Audi that's just come into the pits?
No, that's Nate. Looks
No,
like he is.
No, it's Nigel Wood. Sorry.
Oh no, Nate as well in that case. Yeah, that is Woods.
Oh yeah. But he's not lost in the position, so that's why it's not picked up for me. But yeah, we see Nigel Wood and Nate Newcomer in the pits. So these two might set off a bit of a train as we Hodgson pass Nigel Woods in the pits as well.
I mean, I don't know. Woods probably. Nate was too much on his own to actually truly have an impact there with his driving. Woods maybe. Like, if anyone was willing to get across Woods, you'd be seeing that opportunity happening right around now for them to go into the pits. They wouldn't take much longer than 1 or 2 laps for the perfect opportunity there. However, you could also be banking on the idea that Woods is going to get stuck in traffic, which if you look at where he is, it looks like he timed it perfectly. He has a plenty of clean air in front of him. However, here is the problem. Number 7 and number 8, Binnersley and Gretschel, are straight behind him. So he's going to have to concede that position as he has now effectively become a back marker. Which, by the way, so far wasn't really happening yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think with Nate, he came in his pits early because he had damage, like we said. So he might fix that up early, so he might be able to get faster lap times in, even though it might hurt him later on in the race with the tyres going to be dropping off. Yeah, we're just coming up to halfway through this race. As we see, is that Harry Hoddy just passing, who's that, right? Nate Newcomer, and, yeah, as we see. But just going to the front 2 leaders, is it me that sees Schuler improving his lap time? With this lap time being a 131.6, as well as Mr. Banksy just crossing the line with a 132.5.
Well, looking at Shula's consistency over the entirety of the season, which is 98.9%, which is an absolutely mind-boggling number, I'd say that's well within his reason to like be a little bit quicker. But it's still less than 100 of a second that he's quicker. So it's probably just down to the variance of how he takes some corners and being just a little quicker overall this lap through compared to the last one.
Well, yeah, just seeing these. The fact is, this car is basically just built on driver skill. No one, well, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong. If Rob was here, probably know. Do any other
Hold on a second, as we are having Dahlgren trying to find the way past Burek still. Burek making a mistake there, going a little bit too deep and basically just conceding the position to Dahlgren. However, kind of a nice thing there is there's a lot of runoff area, which gave Burek a lot more speed out of that corner, getting him really close again. Dahlgren's rear bumper. There is a little bit of opportunity here for Burek. There is a chance for him to still get by Dahlgren, but it looks like those tires are just too far gone. Yeah, those tires are too far gone. He's having a lot of problems making those corners, you can tell. He's being really smooth on those inputs, though. Telltale sign of a good driver, by the way. Really smooth on your inputs.
Yeah, I mean, especially like in karting, where if you're going to be a GT3, GT4 driver, you have to start. It's all about smooth inputs, like I've experienced. If you're really rapid with your movements and really shaky, you won't be getting anywhere soon. You have to be properly on your game. But like I was going to say, do you know any other GT3, GT4 cars that race at this moment in time have a limited, well, not limited slip, I mean a locked differential?
No. There is none as far as I'm aware.
Well,
oh, hold on a second, as we're getting another move here. Alexander trying to find the opening here, getting really close to Banksy. He is ready for it. He wants that position going in towards the corkscrew. I think those wheels are a little bit ahead. Nope, that was just the camera playing tricks on me. But there is opportunity here for Alexander to take the position before they go into the pits. This would be the perfect moment for either of them to go into the pits, as they are this fucking close. This is absolutely incredible. And a little bit of a testament to both of them. Neither of them has damage from each other. They've been racing each other the entire time, the full hour so far. No damage on either side. Question is, gonna pull the trigger? Neither of them. They're going to fight it out on track still, on the old tires.
Well, I mean, as we saw in Zolder, everybody literally went in the last, like, half an hour. Obviously, this track ain't Zolder. I mean, it might be alike, but it's not Zolder.
Oh,
So
Alexander really close, going to look for the wider line, going to try around the outside, and he does it! However, Banksy ain't ready yet to give up on that position. Banksy holds the position. Alexander getting a little bit more speed out of that corner. Going into turn 3, there is another opportunity. Alexander sticking his nose in, but he thinks better of it yet again. Alexander has conceded that second position time and time and time again. He is playing nice, and the question I now have for Alexander is, when are you going to stop? And when is Banksy going to feel that front bumper?
Well, I mean, Valley's in the pits right now, as we see Emma Plate's going to 5th because of that. But yeah, Valley's in the pits. Or is it Varga? Sorry, let me correct myself. Yeah, it's full Valley.
Nope. Yeah, Varley, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this track and car is going to be... it's just driver's skill. I mean... Right now we're seeing Schwell. Sorry.
Oh, again, Alexander is sticking his nose there. Now he's ahead. However, Banksy still holding that inside line, still holds that position. Alexander having to back out of it again. He cannot catch a break. If I was either of these two drivers right now, I would have said, fuck it, I'm going to the pits. I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean, the pit strategy is going to be big, but like I said, Zolder, what did these guys do? Hold it out for a long time. As we see Alexander having a look into turn 1, not quite making it, but thinking about it on the bumper of Banksy. Coming into turn 3, we see these two. Alexander again having a look at it, but not having the chance to go down the inside. On the bumper again, we see these two go through turn 4. Straight into the up section of turn 5, so we get the nice in the cockpit view. See the blue car of Mr. Banksy going up the hill towards turn 6, may I believe.
Yep.
And yeah, not much happening there, but into the corkscrew of the hill. Do you reckon we'll see anything as we see?
Yeah, we're gonna see it again.
Yeah,
he's gonna try it around the outside, get the inside line there.
Yeah, maybe looking at the undercut, not the undercut, the switchback, as we see them come into the fast turn 9 and then into turn 10. Will any of these two go into the pits now? I doubt not, because they'll try and say it out.
There goes Banksy. Banksy pulls the trigger.
As Alexander just bushes out the way. Yeah, how much time is Banksy going to lose in the pits? Draki, what do you think?
I think Banksy's going for a tire switch and a little bit of fuel. I don't think he's going to be losing too much time. He's going to be trying to undercut.
He made a mistake. Looking at the traffic that's coming up currently, that's going through the corkscrew, if he doesn't have a fast pit stop here, he's going to be caught up in a lot of traffic. My prediction is he's going to come out somewhere in front or behind 8, which would put him in a train of about 5 to 6 cars. He might have actually ruined himself by doing this move. I told this earlier. He has an Achilles heel, and it is pit stops. I'm going to keep looking at this for a little bit. There's not a lot of battles. This is about the most interesting thing happening currently at this moment. And he's going to be driving out again. And I can see car number 8. So the 8th position, which is currently Eugenie, is going through the final corner. They're going to catch each other. He's going to have to get really lucky. Is he going to get it?
No, I don't think so, because, well, the pit turn 1 is a lot quicker, in my opinion.
Nope. He's fine. He got really lucky with that.
Yeah, well, I mean,
as I say this, we got Will currently with Plate behind him.
Yeah.
Dip Plate already pits.
Yeah, Plate's pitted, because he was previously in P4, P5. But yeah, now he's in P5. But I think we're going to see a bunch of people into pits. Now we've seen the leader, well, the person in second place pit, as we see Schweller come into the pit as well. Am I saying Schweller right, or is it somewhere? Schuler, sorry. My apologies to the folks out there. But yeah, Schuler's in the pits, down into P3 now. as we're going to probably see Peter Varga pass him. Can we get an info on that, if possible?
Varga.
Yeah, Peter Varga looks like he's going to come out of the pits just ahead of Schweller. Oh no, I've said it wrong again, haven't I?
Yeah, Shula. No,
Shula.
it seems like he's going to be fine. Shula is going to be able to just get a front of the track just that tiny little bit quicker. Yeah, there you go. He is absolutely more than fine. However, looking at this little bit of a battle here, looks like Sky just went in. Now you have Plate on your ass. Now, Wilk is a really, really decent driver, but he hasn't pitted yet, as far as I can tell. Otherwise, he wouldn't be this far up. The thing is, he's on a lot older tires. Now you have Plate behind him. Maybe on fresher tires, maybe not. It's hard to tell. I'm thinking that Plate might have done the mad move, which is essentially keep the old tires on and try to get a little bit more time back that way to beat a few positions and then just battle it out on track that way. But it's hard to tell.
I mean, it's Plate. He always does the mad moves. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it might be like the Max Verstappen of this GT4 world, where if someone's going to do something, he'll do the other thing. Go around the inside? Nah, he'll go around the outside.
You know, thinking about that, I would probably more write that down to Banksy. And hold on. Plates is currently thinking about it on Wilk, though. He is really close. There is a massive pace difference between these two drivers. Wilk knows that. Wilk lets him go. He's not going to waste his time on this.
Also, there's a battle behind, I think, if I'm not wrong. 2 fluoro yellow cars. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's a bunch of them going through the corkscrew
back
right
markers.
Now. Yeah, it's obviously back markers. But yeah, we're seeing right now Alexander in P1 and Tyrion in P2, followed by P3, Schuler, who's just pitted, followed by P4, Varga, and Dahlgren.
Wilk currently going in.
Yeah, I think his tires were dead, so he's like, just let this guy go ahead because there's no point in battling. But yeah, P6 is Mr. Banksy himself, looking to get the championship, but Schuler is looking like he's going to win this one. P7 we have Eugenie, followed by P8 Emma Plate, and Peter Varga in P9. Rounding out your top 10, we have Damien Wilk, who's just pitted, so it might change. And Dirk Grettel's gone into P10 as Damien Wilk's gone into P11. P12, we've got Brick Binnersley, followed by Nigel Wood, Mad Al, and rounding out your top 15 is Burek. And in P16, we have Sky, RWB Audi, Hodgson, Duckworth in P19. And rounding out your top 20 is Kevin Shepherd, followed by P21, Harry Hoddy, who had a few spins, and I think Nate's had a bit of a bad race, or maybe Hoddy's just had a really good race, recovering from that incident as we saw at the start. But I think Newcomer's disconnected because he's still on lap 29, as well as who's this, MSJ? I'm not quite sure. But,
Matt Shablom.
Yeah, Matt Shablom. Sadly for him. But yeah, we're gonna see. Is that Banksy? Oh no, Tyrion's gone into pits, as we can see. But yeah,
there's an interesting question here. We've been looking at Alexander now for the last lap and a half. You're now in first. You find yourself in first. You find yourself ahead of Shula, but you're on old tires. You're running out of fuel. You're going to need a pit stop. These cars have, like, I think about, the answer is question. How long do you stay out? How long do you risk not getting into that position? And now the most interesting question of all is about to be answered. And that we need another view for. The question that we all want to know, a battle that literally lasted for 1 hour and 10 minutes. Yeah. Who comes out in front?
Well, with the, I was going to say with Schuler, last time I saw the gap was 32.6. I was going to say if Alexander only changed tires and added a tiny bit of fuel, do you reckon he might be able to come out just by the side of Schuler? And then maybe Banksy might have messed up his strategy as we see, Schuler just overtake Alexander, sadly.
He's going to need to add a lot of fuel to make this work. The question now is whether or not he changes tires or not. But he's going to need a lot of fuel regardless, because they're going to be completely empty.
Yeah, he's definitely changed his tires. We're going to see, are we going to see Banksy coming out? Are we going to see Banksy coming out just behind Alexander? As the pit strategy that Alexander might have chosen might have just worked out.
Oh, it has worked out majorly. Look at that. He's a full corner ahead.
Yeah, I mean, let's have a look at my track map. Track map. Sorry. We're going to see, yeah, a massive difference. I mean, Banksy's only coming around turn 4, while, what's it? Alexander's coming around, well, going up to the turn 6. A lot different. It's 2 straights difference.
You want to know what that means?
Go on.
Banksy swapped tires.
Oh, yeah, but here's a question, though. Alexander was in the pits for more than 30 seconds because Schuler caught him up. So, what are we going to see? Are we going to see a potential fight? Or do you reckon these two are over with as we're coming up to the 40-minute mark?
I think we're going to see Banksy have a lot better lap times than he was having earlier. He's going to start catching up. And Alexander is going to have to be dealing with a lot of fucking problems for the rest of the race. However, I think he might have made the correct choice here, at least for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on how the driver's mindset is. I mean, racing, it sounds like a little bit like in waffling as we see Banksy overtaking Varley. Is that Varley?
Varga. Who was still, to be fair, he was not really overtaking him, as seeing, it was more of out of position because of pits.
Yeah, I thought Varga already pit.
No, Varga hadn't pitted yet. That was Varley.
Oh yes, my apologies. Yeah, it looks like Varga has gone out for a long one. Doesn't look like it's paid off too well. Correct me if I'm wrong. But as we see, oh geez, my screen's just gone. But yeah, yeah. So the top 3 is just the same as it usually been, but except Alexander's got more of a lead compared to Banksy. So yeah, I don't know. What's it looking like, folks? Who's getting P2?
If Banksy did what I think he did, which is swap tires, I'm going to tell you that Banksy's going to get P2. However, if he didn't do that, then Alexander's going to get it hands down.
Well, yeah, I think what's it? Alexander might have had a spin or something on the last lap because his lap time was a 1:37.6. But now it's clear he just crossed the line, 1:32. As well as
1:32.
1:32 flat.
1:30.
So,
no. 1:31.5. Banksy swapped tires. And the reason why Alexander therefore is so close to Shula is because Shula did the exact same, because Shula is back to the times he was driving, which is a 1:31.1, which means that Alexander is the one that took the gamble. This is the one we need to keep our eyes on. Alexander took the gamble and he did not pit for tires. He pitted for fuel. Now, we've been talking about this the entire time, but the lock differential makes such a huge difference. Those tires are grained to hell.
Yeah, I mean, Alexander's done the absolute amazing one where he's just stayed out a bit longer than the rest. Even though it might not have been longer, but towards the end of the race, it looks like Alexander's going to really benefit. But yeah, 14 seconds off the leader. Do you reckon he can possibly make that time up? Might be different.
No way in hell.
Yeah, I mean, where's Draki right now? I haven't heard from him for a while. Can't lie.
All right. Well, meanwhile, we are seeing a little bit of a... What is going on here? Is that Tyrion? That is Tyrion trying to overtake Dahlgren right here. Oh, never mind. Dahlgren immediately says, I'm going to the pits. Goodbye. So plate currently is not anywhere within striking distance of Tyrion. This is interesting. The entire field is currently very, very far split apart. It's not as close as it was earlier. You can notice that a lot of gaps have started appearing, and it has a lot to do with pit stops that have gone right, gone wrong. You know, it takes you a second. You need to reverse. All that good stuff that we love the pit stops for in ACC, because it is really difficult to do. Change my mind.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I can change your mind, but it looks like, yeah, the field is spreading out a little bit. It looks like everybody's done their pit stops, as we have just over 35 minutes left in this race. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen now. Is the pack going to spread out even more? Is it going to condense in the last 15 minutes, I guess?
It's going to pretty much stay the way that it is. We'll see a few more battles. Like, there's one brewing right here. For example, Sky versus Madal, which is awesome to see. Madal is a great defensive driver. He really knows where to put his car and make your life miserable. Not as well as Charger. Charger will forever hold the title of a moving obstacle.
Charger is an absolute GOAT in this league. Well, not just in this league. I mean, everywhere. Charger is considered an absolute GOAT. But yeah.
It's interesting to see, though, that Sky is really, really wanting that. So something you can tell in a driver's behavior, if they really want something, they start using more of the track, and their lines are going to start becoming a little bit more adaptive. And the thing with the midfield, something you notice a lot in the midfield, is they start adopting the driver's lines in front. Look how close Sky is following that line that Matt Al is drawing.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just natural. Like, you can even notice it. You might be taking let's take for example.
Here we go, though.
This can wait.
This is the moments. This is what Sky has been waiting for a while. Few laps now. I've been keeping my eye on it. Sky's been trailing behind Madal. And Madal now is going to have to wonder. Look, Madal blocking that outside line, knowing that the switchback is going to be coming.
Yeah.
Sky, however, has to back out of that corner just a little bit, but keeps that advantage. Sky just pulling the trigger too early with that move down the inside, losing that little bit of space there, going back to that standoff, the Mexican standoff right there, back behind Madal. Now has to claw back a little bit of a difference there. Oh, immediately wants to get it back out of that corner. But the problem by doing that is that you don't get as much run out of this, which means now there's no move possible into the Andretti hairpin. Here's my prediction. Sky is yet again going to pull the trigger too early, break a little bit late, get even closer, and try to take it around corner 5 and 6. Look at that. I'm becoming right. I'm right. Look at that. Sky is right there. Now they're going to go into turn 3. Very close. No move possible there. Sky knows that. Sky has that in mind. Oh, look at that closeness there. It's going to be turn 5 and 6 that Sky is yet again going to be trying towards the corkscrew.
Yeah, I mean, bumper to bumper, wing to wing. Could see a move going into turn 5 or turn 6.
Turn 5, here it is. Called it. Told you.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tight as we see Sky closing the gap on Madal. We could see one going into turn 7. No, turn 6. Not quite yet, but Sky doesn't get the run, sadly, but might still send it. Like the stamp and send it. Daniel Ricciardo moment. But no. Going to hold it out.
Here it is. Learn from the mistake.
Yeah, maybe, but not this time.
Again, trying the inside line. Exact same mistake. Trying it in a place where you just cannot do it. It's not possible there. It's a closing door. There is no way around that corner. It would be pulling a Max Verstappen in Brazil. You just push the other person off track.
Yeah, you can't. As we see, really close. Yeah, bumper close. I mean, these two respecting track limits, bumper limits, I guess. I mean, yeah, they're not touching each other's bumpers, so it's no track, not penalties. It's cool as we see them go down into turn 1. Sky looking for every opportunity he can, as it's just not working. Laguna Seca, as we said, is a really hard track to overtake. What are we saying, Red Sky? Turn 6, turn 7?
Turn 6 yet again.
Yeah,
Turn 6 is yet again going to be that moment where they get so uncomfortably close that there is an opportunity to do something. But the problem is that while turn 6 is really easy to get close to a driver, can't make him move through the corkscrew. It's just nearly impossible. Like, you have to be a godlike driver. And with all due to respect to Mad Al and Sky, this is the midfield. This is not where we're going to see those types of moves. It is going to make me really uncomfortable trying to watch that. However, as you could just see, Mad Al made a mistake out of that corner. Now there's opportunity. Now there's a possibility here. Sky very uncomfortably close here. Question is going to be who's going to come out ahead. Mad Al still in front. However, look how close Sky is. This guy going to repeat that exact same mistake into turn 9? No, they're setting it up. Now they have the possibility to do it into the turn 11. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, none of these drivers can afford to mess up, because going around turn 10 right now, there's a fat pack that just, you don't, if you mess up a spin, you're definitely going to be in that, and you don't want to go through it. As we see our P2 leader, well, position 2 person, Alexander, leading that pack. So you don't want to get caught up in that. As we see them go down in turn 1, Sky looking at the opportunities, going on the outside, but just staying on the inside then, trying to find every bit of track as we see them use that run off a little bit. Oh, jeez. I mean, Mad Al's trying everything to defend, but Sky's going to try everything else to attack. So what's our thoughts?
It's difficult to say. These two are, as far as you can see currently, very, very narrowly comparably in skill. Like, they are fighting on a very equal base. I think they're having similar fuel loads, similar tire wear. There's a lot of opportunity here. And now the question becomes is, how impatient is Sky, and how much mental fortitude does Mad Al have? Look how close. This is a possibility. Now there's a moment. If Sky manages to stick it as close as possible to that bumper of Mad Al through this corner, not making a move, then turn 11 is going to be the call. But look at that. Sky messing it up just a tiny little bit, losing a little bit of pace, getting it immediately back because Mad Al does the exact same thing a corner later.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at lap times right now. Last lap on lap 47, both of them, or lap 46, I'm not quite sure. These two are both identical, as we're going to see them come over the finishing, the start finish, and I'll give you those lap times right now. So yeah, basically identical, only 100th or two 133s. As we see the front runners, as we see Dahlgren going into 131s, as well as Plato, but yeah, we're going to see a few in the 131s. Yeah, Schwuler is still leading that lap pack.
There is a little bit of opportunity here. But the question is going to be, how is Sky going to approach it?
Yeah, just one thing.
Oh, here he goes. Look how close that is. Sky just having a look at that bumper saying, that looks tasty.
Yeah, I mean, is Varga in the pits again? On my mini-map, 97's in the pits. No, not Varga. Wait, is it Varga? No, what's the 97? Oh, that's
97 Nate.
Sorry, folks. That's my bad. But yeah, we're going to see Mad Al in the cockpit view. What's happened to Sky? I can't quite see behind, but we know it's 2 temps around.
Side by side. Opportunity.
Oh.
Sky. Oh, we got to take a look at that real quick.
Yeah, quick replay. Looking at the inside.
Oh, really near close, having to back out of it and finding that little left side bumps upwards.
Yeah,
Ooh.
so yeah, Mad Al's gonna know that Sky's really nice bumper. He's coming after him, but he cannot afford to lose any time.
Here is the thing that showed us Sky's hand. Sky is impatient, but the thing is, time and time and time again into turn 9, Sky makes the same mistake. And that is not something you want to see. That means that Sky is having a wrong understanding of where the attack should be happening, and that very, very often leads to problems. Either that, or Mad Al is taking the corkscrew wrong, which is putting Sky with the choice to lift or brake, which also puts them further off. It is really weird what is happening there. That's, I think, the 3rd or 4th time in a row that we see that exact same move happen, and this time nearly with dangerous consequences.
Yeah, I
At
mean,
this
go on.
at this point,
Oh yeah, these two
either
games.
Madal should really let Sky pass, or Sky should really just slot in. There's still 26 minutes to play for. Look at that. Sky wants that position. Sky will do anything for it. Sky wants it, needs it right now. Yet again into the same corner. Madal this time. Smart.
Yeah, goes wide a little bit. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Both these drivers battling it out. But to be honest, I don't know why they're trying to battle it out. They could have just worked together to catch the car ahead, Burek, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, but Burek is about, 19 seconds, oh, 7 seconds. Obviously, yes, it's just updating my screen. Sky's just overtaking now. But yeah, why don't these two just not work together to catch up Burek in P12?
It's not something they want to do. I mean, you're a racing driver. I mean, people always laugh at it because it was a really aggressive driver that said it. But if you no longer go for the gap that is there, are you still a racing driver?
Well, yeah, obviously Ayrton Senna said that. When was that? Probably about 1992, I'm guessing. I don't know. But yeah, as Ayrton Senna said, if you no longer go for a gap that exists, are you a racing driver? As we saw Sky do to Madal round, what's he called, round turn 9. I have to admit, that was a brilliant move, even if it wasn't an actual attempt and he just let it by. You could really see that Sky was after it, after constant laps of good lap times. He was just attacking Madal. Also, where's Draki? Is Draki alright?
I have no idea.
I am still alive.
Way still here. But yeah.
Meanwhile, though, look at this little battle that's unfolding. 15, 16, and 17. Wilk one step position from Audi. Meanwhile, Eugenie is trying to hold on to everything that he has because Audi is a lot quicker. Three-way battle yet again. These guys have been at it the entire race so far. And they don't have a choice anymore, apparently, of the matter. They are going as hard as they possibly can. They're treating this thing as a sprint race now. I mean, I don't blame them. It's the last 24 minutes. Everything is at stake. This is where you find your final positions. Those 5-6 points you might gain from doing one single takeover, absolutely worth it.
Yeah,
but you still have 24 minutes.
It's literally
don't go too hard.
It is literally a sprint race, but most of the pack is around, well, spread out and mostly over the
here it comes. Wilk had a little bit more pace out of there. Audi had a little bit of a clip there. Wilk is now going to wonder himself, is there an opportunity here? And it looks like there is. A little bit of damage on the rear of Audi, probably playing a little bit of part on the long, on the speeds. Look at that. Wilk taking the corner better. Audi just a little bit too far out, going in towards the corkscrew. There's an opportunity here. Please don't do another turn 9. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, not around rainy curve. I mean,
Audi taking it really sharp. Wilk taking all of the track. There's opportunity. There's speed. There's space. We're going to see see an opportunity here into turn 11, I think.
Oh, as Wilk just goes a little bit wide on the sand. I think Wilk's just a tiny bit too far back. Gonna try and just make it enough to try and get the move into Andretti curve. Andretti hairpin.
Oh,
sorry.
that is close enough, though. There is possibility into the Andretti hairpin.
I mean, if he can try and shake him off, then that's going to be fine. As we see quite a few cars going around Andretti hairpin going into turn 3. But yeah, down into turn 1, we see Wilk just behind. As we see,
we've seen this before. Audi trying to make a move on Eugenie, and Wilk trying to put his nose in. Wilk is going to remember this, but this is the exact same scenario as we were talking about. If two dogs fight for a bone, the third one walks away with it. Oh, Wilk taking a little bit of that curb. Oh, bang, up goes the wheels.
Yeah, well, I mean, literally, it is like a replay button has been placed in front of Damien Wilk. Shall we go through the grid?
I would wait for a minute. This is a moment where we're going to see a lot of fighting, a lot of opportunity. Look at this. Audi now trying to take a look-see. Eugenie is absolutely having to defend for his life. He doesn't have the pace that he has left. Something in Audi changed. Something with that car. It just clicked. Look at the pace that's there. However, that attack didn't round too much, which means Wilk now has an opportunity uncomfortably close towards Audi. Audi now has to defend. He wasn't expecting this. Audi holding the inside line. He's going to try to do the switchback. Will Wilk make it work? Looks like he misses that apex, just loses out a little bit. There we go, back into the stalemate we had earlier. However, look at the pace that Audi has, closing back on towards Eugenie. He's going to break late. Wilk using everything he has in that toe. He's going to try to make it work as well. Wilk using all of the track, going to make that corner cut. Look at that. Audi tries another move. He doesn't quite make it, but Wilk has more pace. He took the corner wider. Look at that. Eugenie makes a mistake. Audi has to lift off to just make that corner. Eugenie's still braking. A little bit of contact right there. Wilk still on the trail. Wilk is ready for a move. Are we going to see a tree wide? No, we're not. Eugenie forcing Audi. Wilk doing the exact same thing. Deja vu on the bumper of Genie going past, trying to make that move. Audi holding the inside line. Will that work? Will going just a bit too far. Yet again, that problem. Eugenie still holding. Audi side by side. Yet again, Audi this time on the inside corner for turn 6. Oh, Eugenie gets ahead away with it. And Will just yet again is going to feel that exact same feeling. Absolute deja vu of a moment.
Yeah, just a quick update on the leader. He's still leading ahead, roughly about 25-26 seconds. As we see, Kai Banksy hitting the faster lap than Schuler, hitting a 131.7. Schuler hits a 131.8. But we're going to watch these three fight out as Wilk has managed to recover it, going down to turn 11.
Yet again, exact same situation.
These three going to have a repeat of last lap, going into turn 1 and the Andretti hairpin.
Here we go. Exact same repeat of the situation. Wilk taking a lot more of the road. Eugenie having to defend. Audi yet again trying to have a look-see up down the inside. However, that little battle gives Wilk all of the opportunity. Yet again, Wilk has more pace. He's closer towards Audi. Audi is not looking at him. Audi's looking at Eugenie. Takes a little bit of the curb. Wilk now has the opportunity to go towards the inside of the corner. However, doesn't do it. Sticks close. Eugenie still slower than he wants to be. Eugenie is going to have Audi right on his bumper, and Audi now has to think about Wilk. Wilk is taking a look. Audi blocks. Audi now trying to get really close to the bumper of Eugenie again. Eugenie yet again with that car on his rear. That man is not being allowed to catch a breath. Wilk still looking for the inside now on Audi. Audi, however, just sticking in, slotting in, knowing that if he does this wrong, he's going to lose his position to Wilk. Up towards the corkscrew. Wilk is thinking about it. He wants that inside line. Barely doesn't make the manage to happen. Eugenie breaks early. Audi is close by yet again. We're going to go towards turn 9. This battle ain't over yet. There we go. Audi yet again straight on the bumper right there with Eugenie.
Yeah, well, we've got 18 minutes left of this race. 18 minutes left of the whole of Clash of Warriors season.
Here we go again. Switchback.
Yeah, turn 11. Going into turn 1 and turn 2, the Andretti hairpin, they're literally following each other's draft as we see them go around the little kink now. Into turn 2, the Andretti curve, we see Audi go on the outside as we see a Eugenie on the inside as well. Eugenie, go on.
Wilk now finding the opportunity to go past that car. He is there. Audi now uncomfortably close with Wilk. Wilk has the pace. Wilk is going to put his nose there. Backs out of it. Knows that he's going to lose space if he does so. Now he's back on towards the corner. Audi has the opportunity to get past Eugenie, who has been struggling with his tires. Something is wrong with that car. I don't know what, but Audi is now having a look towards the inside. However, messes up, has to brake harder. Wilk now has the pace. Wilk is going to find his way around Audi right here, right now. Audi going to hold the inside line, though. He knows he has to defend turn 6 or he's going to lose that position. Wilk backs out, takes the corner a little bit wider. He's going to let it happen again. Up towards the corkscrew one more fucking time. Is Eugenie going to hold on to that position? Because now Audi has a lot more pace, breaks close, gets close, Wilk as well, back into turn 9, back into that stalemate, and we're going to go around the corner one more time. Turn 11, yet again, full repeat of the situation. Who's going to lose out? Who's going to hit each other? Is this happening?
Well, it looks like these three are just going to repeat themselves going around these corners. Hopefully someone can make a move. There's only just...
Here it goes. Audi looking for the inside. Eugenie, Wilk nearly bumping.
Yeah, they
now
did.
The cars have reset. Look at that. There's opportunity. Now there's opportunity. Yeah. Wilk did not touch Audi. Wilk has a little bit more pace here. Audi is put off a little bit. He's out of his rhythm. Eugenie's out of his rhythm. Look at that. Wilk is looking for the opening. He's going to get it in towards the Andretti hairpin. No, he backs out. Audi's still holding on to that position. However, there's a switch back towards Eugenie. He's going to manage to give another attack on that car. However, yet again, into that stalemate, no opportunity, even with the contact, even with the fuck-ups. They are still in that stalemate. Mexican standoff. Where does this end?
Well, it never ends. It never ends. The American dream, if the battle works, don't fix it. Well, that's a modified version of it, but, you know. But we're going to see these three going into turn 6.
One last time, closest they've ever been. Eugenie now uncomfortably close with Audi with less than 0.1 of a second. Wilk in the exact same situation. The opportunity is going to arise yet again into the corkscrew. Turn 9, 10, and 11. That's where the opportunities are. Look at that. Wilk now looking towards the inside. Eugenie having to defend the inside. Is there going to be a switchback? No, there isn't. However, Wilk is now so uncomfortably close. He hasn't been this close yet in towards turn 9. Is there going to be opportunity here for him? No, there isn't. Audi looking too close. Hits that bump. Wilk now has the pace. If Wilk has the balls to make this move, he will make it stick. However, Audi putting his car perfectly on that apex line. Eugenie now gets his break a little bit. That's exactly what Eugenie needed. 5 seconds of being able to think. Yet again, we're just back into that exact same stalemate. Wilk coming back out with more pace. Pace for Audi as well from the toe being gained from Eugenie. Now they're close yet again. They're going to be going in towards that hairpin one more time. Wilk taking all of the track. Audi in the centerpiece. They're doing it in formation. You'd almost say it was scripted. There again, Wilk just taking a little bit more of the track, using everything that he has. Audi still doesn't have a solution for Eugenie. Genie doing everything in his power to hold on to that position, knowing that if he lets it go, he won't be able to get it back. He's slower and he knows it. However, that just means he's going to fight with everything he has. Don't corner the cat. Look at that. Wilk now going to be taking a look into turn 5 as Audi makes a move that doesn't work out. Wilk now back uncomfortably close, back into turn 6, back into the stalemate that is that entire corkscrew. There's no opportunity here. Wilk knows that there's no opportunity. He doesn't have a choice. He just gets close there each and every time. Wilk now finds the opening though. Wilk sees it. Audi has to defend it. Where is the opportunity here?
Well, I mean, they could have an opportunity into the rainy curve or turn 11. Turn 10 isn't necessarily a really overtaking spot unless you get a good run out of rainy curve.
Here it comes though. The worst of the worst. The train has caught them. They are now back markers, and here's going to be the opportunity.
Yeah.
If Wilk bosses out, manages to stay up with the front runners with 4, 5, and 6, there is opportunity here.
We see that car coming in from the back. As we see Audi looking for a move, going into turn 1, which isn't really a good turn for overtaking, but going into the Andretti curve, we see Audi looking on the outside, Xavier Eugenie on the inside, possibly looking for the switchback as Wilk puts his nose in there.
But yet again, can't make it stick. And here comes the question. I mean, back markers have to concede position, but there's also this thing about front runners not being allowed to interfere with closed racing. This is a three-way battle. What do you do? What do you do if you're a front runner and you want to get by? What is Philip Varley going to do in this case? Tyrion is right on his ass. There's a lot of opportunity here. Plate is right behind Tyrion. They want those positions as well. So now is the question, what's going to be happening? Look at this. Audi again, very close. There's just a repeat of 3 situations. It's just like they're driving the exact same fucking battle. They're having a look-see down there as well. Plate looking towards the inside of Tyrion, while Wilk is basically trying to find the opening on Audi. Audi finding the opening on Eugenie. Eugenie defending the second corner of the corkscrew, though. Audi gets by. Wilk uncomfortably close. There's a little bit of contact. The front runners are mixing themselves in. This is just becoming incredibly awkward. This is going to be difficult to navigate. Varley now having to navigate. Oh, Wilk taking a little bit of too much of the corner right there. Varley going by Eugenie around the outside. Eugenie forced towards the inside. Wilk is letting by the front runners as well. Is going to try to slot in with it. Now they're just in an awkward position. Wilkins towards the inside line. That's not where you want to be if you're a back marker. Blade is not going to be happy with this. Blade has to take it too wide. Now Wilk is yet again back ahead. Is he going to lift? No, doesn't look like he's going to be lifting. Well,
I mean, they've got to try and keep their momentum and keep their cool. As we see, just the whole pack between Audi, Wilk, and Eugenie just spread out now because these front runners are coming. Has Audi now overtaken, what's it called? Who I can't even remember who was fighting because there's so many cars in this pack. But we see now we're on board with Phil Varley just going through turn 4. But geez, all these packs mixing together has really separated the action. Chaos at Laguna Seca. It's just everything going on. Is Dracky with us still?
There is so much happening around track right now.
Yeah, Red Sky, your voice is probably going to go after this race. I can't lie. you're literally dying, my guy. But yeah,
I'm fine, but we're getting a repeat of something entirely else. Now the situation is switched. Banksy is now hunting Alexander. It was right. He was on fresher tires. It paid off for him.
Yeah, it really did pay off. I mean, what's the gap now? It's just less than 5 temps. As we see going into turn 1, Alexander is going to have a cheeky look down the inside. Looking on the outside now. My voice is starting to go for some reason. I can feel it. We're going to see Alexander on the way forward. Is this Alexander reviewing, or is it Banksy?
We're viewing Banksy. Alexander is being the one that that's defending.
Oh, geez. Yeah, so Banksy on the trail of Alexander. Going into... Oh, runs wide. Alexander
catches the slides.
Yeah, going into turn 5. We see... Banksy gonna have a little look, but trying and keep that momentum going into turn 6. As we see the bumper to bumper, wing to wing, like I said before, letting off Banksy is. But going into turn 6, we see these two. Banksy gaining a little bit of advantage. Corkscrew, here we come. What are we gonna see?
Alexander on much older tires. This is a losing battle, and Alexander knows that his gamble didn't pay off. He has to hold it for 9 more minutes. Question is, can he do that? Can he hold Banksy, the man of overtakes, behind him for 9 more minutes?
Yeah, I mean, Banksy's decision probably worked out a bit better. Banksy holding out for a little bit longer, if I'm correct. But yeah, lap 62, Schuler is comfortably.
There he goes, opening towards the inside. Those wheels locked up a little bit. Alexander, there's contact right there. Alexander sticks it though. Banksy backs out of it.
Look at that. I mean, yeah, it's a clear one. But as we see them go into turn 1 and the Andretti curve, a little bit far between each other, so no move's going to be done there. As we see a bunch of them on the mini-map going around in turn 10 and into the last corner, turn 11. But we're going to quickly switch back to this one. Banksy going into turn 3, looking for that bumper of Alexander. Now into turn 4. Red Sky, what do you think of this one?
I think that this is just a matter of time before Alexander loses out. Alexander has the older tires here. There's absolutely no thinking about it. There is nothing that he can do. So Banksy now just has to bide his time, look for the right moment, just put a little bit of pressure. You're going to see that Alexander's going to be sliding a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the battle we saw before with Sky and Mad Al. Well, no, was it? Or Eugenie and Audi. As we're going to see them come over to the corkscrew, is the switchback going to be put in place here? And we see Banksy looking everywhere. Is that an inside move? No, not quite yet. We'll see the cutback.
Oh, there it is. Alexander made the mistake. He clipped towards the inside. Now Banksy has the opportunity. Banksy is ahead. Alexander is going to try to do everything in his power on those old tires to try and get past, but there is not much that he's going to be able to do there.
Turn 11, here we come. Banksy is just going to come away with the lap as we see Schuler do the 131.7. So comfortably
there it is. Leads. That's the end. You can tell that gap. There's no overcoming that. I mean, as long as Banksy doesn't make the mistake now, he's going to be able to stick it.
Yeah, I mean, Banksy is easily away. Without any mistakes, he should be on for P2 easily. As we see Schuler just obliterate this race with a near enough a 40-second gap while coming up to it. It's just amazing how dominant Schuler is. We haven't given him much coverage this race, I believe, because it's just been
He's been on
battles
zone.
everywhere. Yeah, he's been on the grind. He's been everywhere. As we have 6.5 minutes left in this race, as we see Schuler just going past. But yeah, any other battles? Can we go back to Eugenie if possible?
Eugenie currently finds himself behind Wilk. Oh, Eugenie has damage.
Yeah, so what's happened to Will? Do you reckon there's been a contact there?
It looks like Wilk is completely okay. However, what I do see is that Audi is a lot ahead, like a lot ahead.
Yeah, so maybe contact between those two. I believe this. Oh, I haven't been around here for all the rounds of the Clash of Warriors, but this is definitely what I've seen the best round of overtakes and stuff. Well, the Zolder round was pretty good, but I do like this one now. And we see Binnersley and Dahlgren, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Yeah, Dahlgren following closely behind Binnersley. Going into turn 4, we can see a little bit of a gap now, but not that much. As we see him come on to turn 5. Dahlgren looking for the inside, not available. Binnersley still yields. Dahlgren on the inside. Binnersley on the outside. Down into turn 6. We can see them. You know, Dahlgren's going to yield for Binnersley. But, yeah, Binnersley going to get the run up to the corkscrew. So no overtaking opportunity there. Ooh. Red Sky.
There is a back marker in front of them. That is going to switch things up a little bit.
Yeah, this is going to absolutely switch the race up for Binnersley and Dahlgren. Who can round the top 9 off the best is in the hands of these two. As what's the gap between these two and the car ahead? Hold on, I have to get this correct because it's just in between my thing, but never mind. We're going to see Binnersley just pull away a bit. No real battle anymore. Binnersley managing everything he can. What other battles have we got on track, Red Sky?
Right now, not really any. Got a little bit of... Oh, never mind. As I say that, that looks like Plate trying on Tyrion. Plate looking for the opening there.
Down the inside.
Plate getting paused. Tyrion, however, going to try and do the switchback.
But, yeah, Plate takes that second
Look
bit of
at
the
that. Tyrion still holds it. Plate having to go wide, far and wide. Tyrion managed to get a better line out of that. Now Plate and Tyrion side by sides.
Yeah, into turn 11. Tyrion might get a better run going into turn 11. We can see these two going to fight it out. Not quite yet, but getting closer. And they're going to get the run up to turn 1 and the Andretti hairpin. We're going to see inside Tyrion's car, P6 right now, but hopefully P5 soon, as Plate's not had a great race, but into the Andretti hairpin we see.
Oh, Plate now makes a little bit of a mistake. Yeah.
No,
he's looking towards the sides.
He's looking to get the mini the switchback of himself, where he's going to get a better run into turn 3, and he's going to go into turn 4 with Tyrion right behind him, bumper to bumper, not wing to wing quite yet, but soon enough it will be. As we have just over 3 minutes left in this race. 3 more laps, we're reckoning.
2.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it on 2, looking at where Shula is on the track.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, just looking at the mini map, we can see a few cars coming around turn 11, a few cars coming into turn 3. Pretty much cars everywhere. But we're gonna quickly look at
Dahlgren having a look-see down next to Binnersley. That almost ended nasty for the both of them.
Yeah, turn 3, turn 4. Going into turn 4, we have Dahlgren on the inside, looking for Binnersley.
Binnersley giving him the space, getting a little bit of contact, and Binnersley lost out majorly because of that. That's what I mean with the sandbanks. That was what I was talking about earlier. You hit those sandbanks and you just lose time. You see a bleed away from you.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to have a look now, Dahlgren is just going to pull away. Do you reckon the steward's going to have a look at that one, Red Sky?
I'm going to judge that as a racing incident. They were both giving each other space, and Dahlgren just, ran a little bit wide, was on the edge of his tires. Tires were giving out a little bit. It happens, you know. It was a little bit of rubbing. You're like, sure, it's not nice when it happens to you, but there's not much that you can do about those situations. Your boat just going next to each other, and Binnersley gives as much space as he thinks Dahlgren needs, but Dahlgren just kind of needed a little bit more. It wasn't like a very far running wide, just a tiny little bit more. It's just a misjudgment there, really.
Yeah, I have to admit, it was just a racing incident. But we're going to see Binnersley just behind, but then we're going to switch to Burek. Is this Burek?
This is Burek, but I'm questioning who that is in front of him. Is that Nigel?
Yeah, it might be. Hold on, let's have a look at my mini leaderboard here. So yeah, the gap. No, it can't be. I think it might be Alexander going to pass him. Is it?
Yeah, that's not Nigel.
That's a different car. This is very weird. I can't lie. But yeah, we're gonna see. Why don't we stay on Alexander for a quick minute? Alexander going into turn 1 and then turn 2, the Andretti curve. Not much really. Followed by Tyrion in the background, if I'm correct. Or is that Val? No, that's Valley. Sorry, fellas. Is it? Yeah, that's. Oh, geez, I don't know. Is it Valley or is it Tyrion? I think it's Tyrion. But anyways, we're gonna see just Alexander going to turn 4.
I think we're gonna have one more lap. I think it's gonna be Tree after all.
Yeah, 30 seconds left in the race. Yeah, Schuler go around the last turn. Can we get an onboard view with Schuler to go through this last lap? So, if it's all right, I'm going to run through the lap on this one. Do a panda style thing. Sadly, he's off with COVID. As we see a car come out of the pits. Turn 1, we go down into. Turn 2, Andretti hairpin. Let's see this. Schuler going in wide, going on the inside and then coming back. We're going to see them go into turn 3 now. With a little bit of cool. Turn 3, nice and steady over the curb. When just on the exit thing, going into turn 4, nice sweeping right-hander. As then we see the long run, as he goes a little bit wide, but he's still keeping the lap time up. Down to turn 5, which will lead up the hill into turn 6. I mean, surely they have to give a name to turn 6. This corner is so iconic right now. And especially in this race. Well, turn 6 we go. Up to the corkscrew. We see using all that exit. We just see. It's absolutely amazing to watch this. Just one final on lap board as we see Schuler coming home to win the championship. Through the corkscrew he goes down into the rainy curve. Followed by turn 10. Absolute stopping sensation show from Schuler. Turn 10. One more corner before he wins the RWB Clash of Warriors Season 2 Championship. Here's, ladies and gentlemen, we have your championship winner, Schuler. Radek, is it Radek Schuler?
Yep, yeah, Radek Schuler.
Radek Schuler. Congratulations to him. He's won the race and won the championship, as we're followed by Banksy, who managed to claim P2. What an absolutely show he's done with those newer tyres than Alexander. But yeah, he's going through the rainy curve down into turn 10. Mossy Red Sky, I'll let you take this one.
Banksy having given everything he has, and now the question on everyone's mind is it enough to snatch P2 on the overall standings? As he takes P2 in this race. Absolutely brilliant drive from him. Strategy worked out fully. He does a little happy squiggle there. Absolutely fantastic driving from him. Alexander gambled everything, tried to make it work, but lost inevitably towards the gamble that he did. However, brilliant drive from him. He managed to make it work on those tires. Varley now coming around the corner, doing everything he can, did everything he can. Wasn't enough to get the podium, but he has one hell of a drive behind him. Also a happy wiggle from him. Of course there is. Blade, of course, absolutely devastated, most likely with a P5 in this position and losing his chance to try and beat Schuler. But he still did an absolutely awesome race, navigating all of that traffic, holding on to that position, working himself up a little bit. In P6, Tyrion has driven an absolutely brilliant race with a lot of decent fucking moves. He can be really happy. Varga had an absolutely massively nice race, finds himself in position 7, worked his way through the field. He did fantastic. Gretschel finds himself more or less where he qualified, but he still brings home a P8 in an incredibly difficult race.
Yeah.
Binnersley finds himself ahead of Dahlgren. After all, he must have been able to get it back at one point. He's going to be more than ecstatic. Dahlgren losing it all in those last few seconds. Ah, that must have been devastating, but he still brings home a beautiful P10. After that, we have Nigel Wood in 11, Burek in 12, Sky in 13, Madal in 14, Audi in 15, 16 has Wilk, 17 has Hutcham, 18 has Duckworth, Eugenie in 19th, Hadi on 20th, and that rounds out Shepard on the 21st position. Then we have Nate Newcomer 22nd and Matt Shablum 23. What an absolutely brilliant race this was. Shall we see if we can get ourselves some interviews?
Yeah, I really want to interview our championship winner, Schuler, Radek Schuler. What a sensational championship winning just state he's done. I really enjoyed being on here with everybody here. It's been an honor to be a commentator on the RWB channel, especially on a Thursdays in here. Excited me to see you guys around more. But we're gonna try and get some interviews with Schuler if possible. Anybody really. That was an amazing race for everybody.
Does not look like Schuler is in Discord any longer.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's probably dead after that race. He sweated his heart out. He went 40 seconds up on Banksy. That's just some God mode stuff right there. Some God mode stuff. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, amazing. By the way, where is Mr. Draki himself?
I'm almost asleep.
Don't worry, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, fucking tired, but that's my problem. It's been an absolute crazy season, to say the least. I've been there, am I correct? Almost every race. I think I missed the second race, I believe. The rest I was there. It's been crazy, man. It's been... These guys just proved us wrong. Because Ben and I were at the beginning of the season like, they're gonna be probably a little bit slow in the cars that they don't know, but they were all fucking fast. Blistering fast around every single track.
Yeah, I mean, I have an insane amount of respect for everybody in this championship, everybody in RWB. What an amazing season. Is it possible, when do the championship standings update? Can we ask that question? Because
it'll probably be next week after any penalties and points and stuff are added, but it's probably a pretty good lock for Schuler.
Yeah, I mean, Schuler's our championship winner. Congratulations to him. Absolutely sensational drive, like I said before. I just can't believe he won it. Well, no, that's the wrong thing. It was like he almost just knew he was going to win it. But yeah, absolutely sensational drive. Do we have anybody that wants to do an interview? I think Banksy's waiting for comms. So can we pull Banksy in here? Yeah. Hello, Banksy. How are you doing?
Hello.
Great race from you. We saw that absolute send on Alexander coming back for that win, for the P2. Absolutely amazing race.
What was that? After the corkscrew into the final turn, because the final turn we had a bit of a coming together because we both sort of went for the same gap. I give it back.
Yeah.
I didn't want to take the position through foul means, so I sort of backed off, let him take the position, give it another go. I knew my tyres were better than his anyway, so.
Well, yeah. I mean, you did the sensible option there. I can't remember how long we had left, but it was 3 minutes. Absolutely sensational. I'm using that word a lot today, but it was an absolutely amazing fight. How do you feel? Did you come P2 in the championship now?
Oh, I don't know.
I think you have right now. Red Skies just had to dip, I think. But it's alright.
I had to beat Plate by a good few positions, like maybe 10 maybe more positions. Let me have a quick double check.
I think plate came around P7, P6.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I'm in third.
Oh, hello, Red Sky's back. Great to see you again.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a crash here. That was a little annoying.
No worries, lad. But yeah, great seeing you. Are we going to see you? Here's the question: are we going to see you more in RWB series again?
I race them all.
I know, absolute unit.
I want to win. I want to win one, but it's just with Schuller in the field, it's really, really difficult.
Well, just look at it this way: you'll have really, really earned it when you've done it. Now, I have a question for you.
Go on.
Did you indeed actually change your tires when you went for the pit stop?
Yes.
Yeah, we thought as much, and we're thinking Alexander actually made the gamble of not doing that to get ahead of you, and it seems like it really like you really gained out on it. I actually said it during the commentating as well. You really made a decent decision this time around, because pit stops are a little bit of your Achilles heel, aren't they?
I was worried about it. Yeah, I was worried about it at the beginning of the race. I was talking to Audi. I was like, I don't know what to do for my pits. Do I do a full tank, try and go long, or do a sort of? I think I did a 60-40 in the end. Percent of tank, so like 60% of the fuel first part of the race, and then like 40% for the second half.
Well, it clearly worked out.
Thank God.
It really worked out.
When he came out the pits 10 seconds after, I thought, no way he's gained that amount of time within those couple of laps. So I was going around. He couldn't have changed his tires. I hope he's not changed his tires. And then I seen I was gaining on him. But yeah.
But yeah, congratulations. Did you come P3 in the championship? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, P3, absolutely sensational drives throughout the season. I think you're going to have a lot of fans after this one.
I don't know about that, but I think Schuller's got most of them. Fair play to Schuller and Plate anyway. I was hoping to beat Plate, but you know they're all fucking formidable bloody challengers anyway. So
Plate's had an absolute drive this season. Everybody has really stepped it up this season. A lot of really close battles. Anything else to say, Red Sky?
Honestly, no, Banksy, like, I mean, I've been watching you for a while now through the commentating boot, and every single season you're just an absolute performer. Like, you make it like spectacular each and every single time. That was a really nice move as well.
Jack made me work for it that first half of the race. I was just defending, but like if Jack had got by, he would have been gone. I don't know what he puts. I don't know what fuel he's got in that car, but fuck me.
Yeah,
we saw that.
A bit like the Ferrari engine, where I don't know, the Shell fuel adds a good amount of horsepower.
I enjoyed it though. I hope there's no hard feelings with that little tap we had going into the last corner. I mean, it was good, hard, fair racing. I thought so. Hopefully,
shouldn't be. You gave the position back and regained it fairly. So hopefully, no hard feelings for both of you. But yeah, sensational racing throughout the season. I enjoyed watching what I could. Anything else to say, folks?
Not for me. I think that's pretty much it. We've had a phenomenal season. There's not much more to say. Sadly enough, we don't have more people to interview either. However, there's only one thing we can really say. I think with this amount of quality in the racing, why wouldn't you watch the next season?
Yeah, why would you not watch the season? So everybody out there, make sure you watch next season. What is up next on the Saturday nights?
It will be a team kind of event. Let me take a look at.
It's going to be a race room series and then the 2.4 hours team event.
Well, folks, stay tuned for that. And is it safe to say we can round it off for tonight?
I have a little word actually that I have prepared while I was half asleep.
Go on.
I have done something. It's been a crazy season. It is the end of the season, so that's why I want to have a word. First, I want to thank Panda. He's not actually here today with us. He's been sick and busy with school, but I want to thank him for being with me in the comms booth a lot. I want to thank you, FTC, and Red Sky, of course, for tonight. And the other nights for you, FTC, I want to thank, let's see, who had we? Lumpy Hamster, of course, that other night also. Rob for falling in for Panda and me sometimes. D-Bug for falling in for me and Panda sometimes because we couldn't be there. I want to thank Nate, especially for setting up the streams every single time again. and having some good, really fucking good streams out there. So thank you, Nate. And of course, all the RWB admins, moderators, whatever we call them, that have set up this season, that have managed this season, that have made sure we had a race to view. We had a fun season to view. So I think that I thanked everyone, right?
Yeah. I mean, let me just quickly say thank you, Nate, for helping me out, setting up my streams, doing everything, teaching me how to commentate a bit. Well, actually a lot. Thank you, Red Sky, for being here tonight, and Draki. I've loved Draki with the data. Favorite part of my season. I also want to, yeah, I also want to thank Panda. Sadly, he can't be here with COVID and schoolwork. But yeah, folks, can we get a last goodbye from Draki?
Yeah, it's a. Rob always says it's a goodbye for now.
Yep. In Rob's words, it's a goodbye now for now. Red Sky, what are you gonna say? Is it a goodbye?
No, join me next week for the 9 hours of Spa, which I will be at the full 9 hours.
Go on, lads, let's go. 9 hours of Spa.
Time for a drink.